and welcome. You are listening to At Home with Ifenu. Here, we'll talk about helping women know and understand their worth, find fulfillment in who they are, and in what they do. Every other week, we'll talk about your identity as a woman, discovering your unique purpose, intentionally raising the next generation, and your influence in homemaking. I am your host, Ifoma Nneka Omoni. Hello, and welcome to another liberating time on At Home with Ifenu. Yes, I told you Happy New Year and welcome to 2024. I think 2 weeks ago, and we are here again. So how are you settling into the new year? Yes, a lot of us must have traveled, a time to meet friends and family, and we are settling into the new year, trying to, talk about our goals, our plans, and so many things we want to achieve. I just want you to know that you are at the right place at the right time. But before we go into today's focus, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from all over the world. You are welcome. Today promises to be liberating, like I told you. I'm not alone. I have a VIP guest with me today. Just don't worry, I'll soon introduce her, or she will do the introduction. And the room is going to be filled with so much energy because she's associated with energy as well. So get your sweet spots, your tea, coffee, water. I am ready with my notepads. It's a new year. And Ifeno wants to move to the new level. I don't want to remain the way I was coming to see you and talk with you in 2023. So I am also a student in today's episode. Yes, I'm always learning and unlearning. So I'm ready, and I hope you are. So please get ready and tighten your seat belt. It promises to be a beautiful flight as we have our special guest. And my special guest is an excellent optometrist. She deals with the eye, and she was the best fit for today's episode and the topic, because beyond just our physical eye, she's also known as the illuminator. She helps people, to carve out their vision for life, vision for a year, vision for decades. She has been coaching, mentoring. She has even written books. She will tell us more about all she does. Her bio is very heavy, and I can't start reading everything on the show today. But please, I'd like you to welcome our very first guest for 2024, Dr. Chibuzor Uwadi. You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Woo!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you today?
Nice.
How are you?
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's exciting to meet you in person. See. Yes.
It's exciting to have been admiring you from a distance through the platform that I got to know you, Speak for Gold. So it's good to have you on our show today to contribute to the little thing we are doing here, talking to women, talking to families and homes. And you are doing a great work. One of the titles of your book that says Eat Well, See Well. At Home with Ifeno also talks about nutrition, what we put into our bodies. And I'm sure maybe when I give you the time to talk about what you do, you would tell us more about how our vision, as in our natural sight, is something we should not play with. But before we go into today's topic, please, what would you like our listeners to always remember when they hear your name? Who is Dr. Chibuzor Uwadi?
Oh, wow. Okay, Dr. Uwadi, from my name, Chibuzor means God's the way and God's leads. And from my name, it's all about clarity, direction, purpose, and focus. So you meet me, I am the go-to for vision. And that is vision for sight and vision for your mind. And I work as fusion of both visions, which is eye vision and mind sight vision, to help you do what I call understand your hindsight, understand your foresight, understand insight, which means have insight in whatever you want to do, and have fast sight. As much as that looks big, everything vision is where you come to clarity in your business, clarity in life, and clarity in marriage. So for me, I am the embodiment, the oracle of vision, so that you're not stuck in life, you're clear on your purpose, and you become actualized in life. Wow. That's who I am.
Wow. That is Dr. Chi. You know, we call her Dr. Chi Energy. She's full of life, and she has just in summary told us the importance of vision from the foresight, hindsight, whatever site it is. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction of who you are. So our topic for today is, how far can you see? Envisioning for a new year. How far can you see? Envisioning for a new year. Many times people make new year resolutions, you know, they plan, they write plans and goals and the things they want to achieve. But before the first quarter, and maybe I'm even going too far, we find out that many of us have lost that energy. So what would you say envisioning for a new year really is, and why is it very important?
Wow, thank you for the question. Very nice question. Now, the first thing is, before you start thinking of New Year, you have to think about you, the new you. And when I say the new you, it's not really about a new year, because every year is an extension of the old. So it's about you first. It's about understanding who you are. It's understanding where you're going, where vision comes to play. And if it's about new you, do you have a clear identity of who you are? And if you have a clear identity of who you are, it's about new you. So when I talk about vision and you, I talk about understanding who you are. What's your identity? What's your belief system? If your belief is about success, then you define the success, which means you have strategies, you have a list of the things or the person you want to become as you enter a new year. And for me, the definition of vision is not about the future that you want to go into. It is the you that you're becoming in order to lead into a new year. Because otherwise, when 2001 comes or 2022 comes or 2023, you just keep changing the number, but you're not changed. So the question I would throw when you're entering a new season is to check your identity. Are you the person God really wants you to be? Are you fulfilling the purpose for which you were born to do? Are you delivering the problem that you choose to deliver? And are you the solution that you want to become? Because these are the things that constitute newness. And when these are fulfilled, which means you're seeing clearly, you're expanding in the space. Vision is about expansion of the space where you can manifest the new you. Are you expanding in that space? And if you're within that visionary space, are you fulfilling purpose? God created you for a purpose. Are you fulfilling that purpose? And if you are fulfilling purpose, like I always say to people, now I have a remote control, for instance, which is for television. I have another remote control for my gas cooker, for instance. Now, if your purpose is for TV and you're using that remote for gas cooker, it will not work. So as you understand the space, the expansion, the visionary space, which you need to operate, you need to understand your purpose in life. And within that purpose, are you ready to manifest the identity God has given you in order to fulfill that purpose and then become actualized? Otherwise, envisioning the new year will just be another year. It will just be another year. So first of all, make a list of who you're becoming. Understanding, discovering you is what I would say. When you discover you, then you see clearly. When you see clearly, then you are becoming purposeful. And when you become purposeful, you can manifest the full potential for which God created you to manifest. Then you can plan into the year, because now you're coming as a new person and you're entering an extension of another year. And then you say, okay, number one, this is what I'm born to do. I'm fulfilling it. Number two, this is the purpose for which I'm coming into this year. I'm doing it. Then you break your goals. Then you can set up goals. And you break those goals into practical goals that your new you can finish. Otherwise, you procrastinate. And next year, you'll be saying, next year we are going into another year. But no, it's about transformation of you, then envisioning you and becoming you. And that's what it's about.
Wow, Dr. Chi.
Did I answer your question?
You gave us more than enough. Wow. She said so much in just that short time. She talked about the main thing I got from what Dr. Chi just said about envisioning for a new year is it begins with me. That's how I can summarize it. She said it begins with knowing who I am. What is my identity? I need to check my identity. I need to list who I am becoming. I need to see clearly. She has not talked about making goals yet. So I need to know my purpose. Then I now come to manifesting, the new me. Am I able to expand the space that will accommodate the manifestations of which God wants me to show? And then I can now start listing practical goals that the new me can achieve. Thank you so much. In fact, if we end the show now, I think we have so much to digest. It was really, really encompassing. Thank you so much for that response. So our next question is, what are some of the obstacles people face? I think you have already started answering it, but can you give us some particular obstacles that we face when we are trying to, project for a new season of our lives?
Okay, thank you for that question. I would extend that from what I started talking about. When you become and understand who you really are, which means you understand the God that created you, you're born for greatness. And your greatness, you're capable of being who you desire to be. It's a mindset thing, but it's a God thing. Because, in the first instance, I mentioned about belief systems. So you're rooted in God and you understand that you were born for greatness. You're born to excel. You're born to be great. Because that's the space within your vision. You're not limiting yourself by what they say the economy is doing. So the obstacle is your fear of failure or your fear of not believing that you are possible. When they say I am possible, it's not impossible, it's I am possible. So one of the things I would call limitation is the fear or self-doubt that you have, that you are able to become who your God says you're capable of. Because that fear means you're doubting already. And the Bible says faith is the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the things you've hoped for and you're now manifesting it. Faith is becoming who God declared that you can become. Faith is that thing. So when you want to doubt yourself, it means you're not just doubting you, you're doubting God, isn't it? You're doubting God. So one limitation is that limitation of being an imposter, the feeling of, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not enough. And that is it. That is a major thing. Because when you say you are not enough, I'm not good enough to become a billionaire. I am not good enough to be married. Remember, you're becoming something before you enter the new year. I'm not good enough to own a business. I am everything. The fear of failure is all around. Not good enough. Not good enough. So when you can conquer the obstacle of not good enough and limiting self-doubt and distraction, because one thing with vision is focus. When you focus on one thing, you're blind in the other. So if you can conquer the fear of not good enough, the fear of failure, the fear of this, or even having distractions and self-doubt, then you're ready to become who you're meant to be. Remember, your future is, Well Ltd said this, your future is becoming the person you desire to be that you've not become. Doing the things you desire to do, you have not yet done. And possessing and having the things you want to have that you do not yet have. So conquering your uncertainty status or your fears, that's major obstacles.
So our future is not on the calendar. The new year is not on.
Yeah, the future is in you. The future is in you. You are the future. You're living now as if it's tomorrow. So your future is now. Your future is.
Wow. So it means that it still boils down to, it has to do with me, as in I have a critical part of making this season a new one. If I can fight that obstacle of the fear of failure, self-doubt that makes me feel I'm not enough, the other person is better, and then distractions. So during the course of this year, so many people will come with ideas. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And she said something that it has to do with focusing on one thing, and then you are blind to the others. Because when there are so many things you are focusing on, you end up not even getting one. Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Chi. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So, we live in a world where well, it is the world, but we on At Home with Ifeno, we don't go by that mindset. So there are some societal or cultural factors, that impact on the way women see themselves, and it could even be an obstacle on how they can envision their year. What are those things? Because I know you deal with women. In your journey with women, coaching women particularly, what will you tell that woman that is listening and feeling, oh, Dr. Chi, you really said a lot. In fact, it was like you were describing me when you were saying, I feel I'm not good enough to have that business. What are those societal things and cultural factors that you want women to stand up from, to wake up and to see that they are not to be limited by those factors?
Oh, thank you. In my business, I deal with men, women, children, and school children, anything organizations. But focus point is women. In the focusing on women, the big question again is, who are you? Who do you see yourself as? Now, when you see yourself as not good enough, that's the imposter syndrome. It means the absence of confidence is imposter. The absence of confidence. So when you see somebody not feeling good enough as a woman, it means you're expecting other people to be better than you, or you say, oh, they are not giving me a room on the table. But the question is, why are you waiting for a table to be built? Build your own table and bring your chair with you. So don't wait for anybody to form it or build the table or give you the business. Start yours. Whatever you're doing, start small. The low-hanging fruits are there. So don't create limitations around yourself, because it's about what you think and how you feel and your expectation that people have of you. But when you wake up and you say to yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm ace. And ace, you're confident, you're excellent, you cannot fail in life. When you are at that point, there's no sociocultural restriction that can stop you from becoming who God says you are. I know that being human, these things exist. But always tell yourself, I am ace. I am ace. I am unstoppable. I cannot fail in life. And if there's no table, I build my table and I bring my chair. And if there's no table still, and maybe you expected people to put you on their table, when you build your own table, guess what? Invite those who gave you no chair to come and sit with you, because you're in charge. So you're a woman because you are God's own creature. You're created beautiful. You're made with shape. Compared to a man, you are made beautiful. So nothing can stop you from becoming who God created you to be, because you're born great anyway. A woman is an incubator of children, incubator of ideas, incubator of every sort of thing. So for the woman, whether you're an African, single, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, whether you're widowed, tell yourself, I am strong, I am ace, I'm a superwoman, and nothing can stop you.
Wow, I like that one. I am ace. I am ace.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Chi. Always filled with energy. So, Abraham, an example, was given a blank check, and God told him he should look around where he was, and that he will be given the land that he can see. So he will be given the land that he can see. Now, you've really charged us up with what you have said so far. But how can you help our listeners, how can they see as far as God wants them to see? But there's a note of caution in this. The fact that not all good ideas, not all seeing so far might be God's idea for us. How can listeners see as far as they envision and they believe they can? But we want our listeners to remember the God factor, even as they envision a great year.
Okay, thank you you asked very wonderful questions, and thank you for asking. Okay, I'm going to take us through a journey that I use for my coaching. And that journey is, number one, you must know what you're born to do. What you're born to do is what God reveals to you. You must also know what you're trained to do. And you must also know what you love doing and what you're good at. I'll go back on those. What are you born to do? Which is your purpose in life. What are you trained to do? Which is what you went to school for. What do you love doing? That's your vocation. And what are you good at? So when you know these things, you can now also know what does the world need from you. Because if you had to draw it as a map, and you see what you love doing, what you're trained to do, you will find out there's a middle part, a sweet spot of that. And this sweet spot would guide you in clearing those visions. Remember when we started, we said, who am I? Who am I becoming? You cannot become, I'm a doctor of optometry, I'm a visionary leadership coach. Those are what I'm trained to do. But they're not what I'm born to do. But do you know that when you focus on God and ask God, in my life creation, what is that purpose? It is a merging of those things together that will bring a sharp focus, a sense of fulfillment, and then you can visualize. Being an optometrist and a visionary leadership coach is aligned. And that's my soft spot of excitement. So when I'm talking about people's life design, when I'm talking about people's how they become the best in themselves and manifest their potentials, that's what I'm very focused on. That's what I'm passionate about. When I go into the clinic and talk about eyes, that's what I'm focused on. But not many people are like me. So when the scripture talks about as far as your eyes can see, the issue of being outside God's purpose doesn't come in. Because remember when we started, we are already in his purpose. Because the first thing we did was self-discovery. Discover your identity in God. Discover who you are. And getting a clear understanding, I am greatness. I am born for greatness. And this is God within you. And God is now leading you aright. So when you say, for as far as your eyes can see, your eyes will not be looking everywhere. Your eyes will be looking what he has created you to solve. I'll reference FD again, Fela Durotoye. He said, when you were born, for instance, or when you were sent from heaven, God sent you down to solve a problem, to be a solution. So the question is, what problem were you born to solve? And what solution are you preferring? When you prefer a solution, you add value. When you add value, you create excitement, you create solution. So when your eyes are seeing solution. Solution only. If it is not a solution, it's not God guiding you. Do you understand? So it's about seeing solution. It's about knowing, who am I going to help today? Who am I going to add value to their life today? Which family am I going to help? If God is saying to you that your duty is to feed nations, then he gives you that vision as well as the provision for feeding nations. If God said to me, my solution that I'm going to be seeing and proffering is to help heal blindness from people, take blindness off people's eyes. Everywhere I show up as illumination. I show up as an illuminator, as an energy to help people out of darkness, whether it's physical blindness or emotional blindness or any kind of blindness. That's what I'm born to do. So your seeing is not physical. When Abraham said, for as far as your eyes can see, he's talking about you're seeing the solution you're created to deliver. So the question is, what solution are you born to solve? What solution are you created to deliver? What solution are you meant to be in your family, in business, in your life? And then the question again is, if your name is mentioned today, will your name be the address of the solution? Therefore, when your eyes are seeing, you're not seeing because they are paying you money. You're seeing because you're adding value, and your value will turn into gold. Wow. So Abraham wasn't talking about physical sight because he was an old man. But if you read through the rest of that scripture, you can see he had Isaac, and Isaac, he said that they will become 1,000 times in their generation after them. So they were seeing more. You are seeing great. And this is why I said in the beginning about becoming who you want to become. Because when you become the greatness you're born to be, you become the solution you're meant to be. Then when you step into the new year, you're seeing excellence from day one. I'll tell you a little story. In 2022, a great man came to my house and he prayed one prayer. He said, you enter into your next phase. I didn't understand the next phase in 2022 because in 2023, in January, February, I was given an award. In March, I was given an award. The only month I didn't have an award was April and May, June, July, August, and October. Why? Wow. Because when he made a declaration in the spirit that I was going to say next phase, this year it's been leaping from publishing 2 books to something. So greatness I became. I position myself in the person I want to become, in the greatness I need to become, in the light I need to become, in the energy I need to become. So when people say Dr. Chi energy, it's not just a name. I have become energy, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So when you want to see, you need to become who you desire to be, who God said you are, and who you need to become.
Wow. So how far you can see has to do with the solutions. What are you really seeing? It's not about looking at what other people are doing. It's not about looking around. It's a focused type of seeing, focusing on the solutions, the greatness that is embedded in your life that God has created you to be. So Dr. Chi is telling us that seeing far and far, is not just physical. It's not what our physical eyes can see. And she started by talking about by faith. We need to walk by faith for us to envision this new year.
Just like I was saying, about what you can actually see. Seeing requires having clarity. So let's say God has already, put in your spirit what solution you are going to proffer. You need to have clarity of your values. There are so many values, for instance, but there is some values that are aligned to you. There's David, there's Solomon, there's Joseph, but they are not all the same values, isn't it? Yeah. Different values. So it's not about copy and paste. It's about you understanding and having clarity of what God is showing you. That's one. Then set your priorities. It's not when they say, as far as your eyes can see, I'm a child of God, I can see it. No. Set values in place. Set your priorities. Have clarity. Do things with purpose. When you're seeing, when they say shine your eyes, don't just shine your eyes anyhow, but you shine your eyes to see with clarity, with focus, and seek inspiration. So when you say, as far as your eyes can see, and you seek inspiration, I have many coaches. I have a coach that does my strategy. I have a coach that does my PR. I have a coach that does different things. They're all not the same. So have mentors, have coach. Yes, Coach Gigi has coach. It's important that you must stand on somebody's shoulder. Because if you don't stand, you will not see far. If you have a pastor, you stand on your pastor. Not every pastor knows what you need. So this pastor is good on business. This one is good on. You stand on the different shoulders. If this one is good for marriage, you stand on that one. Don't expect one person to know everything. So clarity is important. And stay very open to new possibilities when you're seeing. Impossible is not the same thing. Impossible is nothing. Tell yourself that. Impossible is nothing. So when you're seeing and there are obstructions, you say, yes, I can see beyond. The greater one lives in me. Greater is he that's in me than he that is in the world. You're not in denial, but you're seeing far. I talk about far sight. You need to be able to do hindsight, which is don't ignore your past. You audit your past and project your future. Your yesterday is not a waste because it's part of your experience. And then while you're designing these things, you align your goals and your value and the solution God gave you. Then you project them. Remember, you became somebody in order to enter the new year. So you now project everything you've written down and the person you become, and then you step into your new year with style. In your eyes, in your mind, you project it. Then you speak it to yourself. Oh, I'm already in my 2024. I'm excelling in what I have. My business is flourishing. You declare it as if you're already present in 2022. If you want to be eating passion fruit every day, that tastes really nice. If you want to be going to Jamaica, Caribbean, you see yourself. You're flying first class. The very first time I flew first class, guess what? I was there before I saw the ticket. I started visualizing it. I saw myself. And when it happened, when the ticket entered my hand, I said, oh, wow. It felt like I was there before because I was there before. I have prepared myself. So the person you want to become it first. The one you want to become tomorrow, become it today. The way you want your children, the way you want your marriage, the way you want your business, become it now. See it now. Because when people come as an optometrist and I ask them, why is your vision blurred? Blurriness is cloudiness of vision. So you need to remove anything that makes your vision cloudy. Anything obstructing you, take it off. And it's time to see far. And you need light to see far. You need energy to see far. So be energized and be illuminated.
Wow, Dr. Chi in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you for that response. So it's time for us to give you the floor to talk about your online presence. How can we get your books, your coaching? Just tell us everything that has to do with what you do and how our listeners can connect with you. I definitely will put your links, but let's hear from you what you do online and how people can keep in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I do a few things online, and one of my passionate one I'm doing at the moment is I coach nearly 70 people on my strategic visionary leadership program. And there's a closed WhatsApp group, which I do. And it's exciting because I'm raising leaders and using other leaders to raise other leaders. Which means if you're already a leader and you're in my group, I give you opportunity to rise and show yourself, showcase yourself. And because one way to lead is by also leading others, and then you can grow and also help others. That's one aspect. I'm also in Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram as well as on LinkedIn. And then I'm a keynote speaker, so I do travel to talk and speak to people. And what else do I do? Transformational life, creating change and coaching people. I do a one-to-one coaching as well as mentoring people. So I do a whole lot of things. And of course, author of 2 books, Eat Well, See Well. I'm passionate about how good you see. How good you see is not just wearing glasses. The computer you consume can damage your eyes, and what you eat, the exposure to sun can damage your eyes. And then, of course, some people will be amazed, especially Africans. We have ugu vegetable, papaya, even bitter leaf, and all these things are very good for your eyes. So I help people come to an awareness of what diseases can lead to blindness. What can you do to reduce the risk of these diseases? And then, of course, in my leadership journey, I've written a book, Rising from the Ashes. And it's very exciting because in Rising from the Ashes, I wrote about tips that I use to rise. I used to be in the ashes, difficult, challenging situations, and I turned it around into purpose and leadership. And I'm here to help people also rise and become who they desire. So that's what I do.
Wow, Dr. Chi, so how do we get your books? Are they on Amazon, or where can we,
Yes, my books at the moment are found on Amazon. I'm hoping to have other channels, but at the moment, I have them both on Amazon.
Okay. So
and the links are on my website. My website is eatwellseewell.com.
Okay. Okay, so I'll put those links in the show notes so that our listeners can click on them and they can connect with you beyond what you've said today. So in closing, how can our listeners stay motivated and committed to the vision they are going to carve out after listening to this illuminating sermon or speech, or what will they call it, from Dr. Chi? What will be your closing words to our listeners so that they don't drop the ball midway?
Yes. I think to stay motivated, the most important thing is discover you. That's one of the most important. Discover you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Discover you. Stay focused on the goal. If God says go west, stay west. And if God gives you a dream, break them into smaller, achievable steps. If God says you're going to build a hospital, $100 million or pounds hospital, no, it's a big dream, it's a good vision, but break them into smaller, achievable steps. Then create a support system. I told you, I have a coach that does my strategy. I have somebody who is my PR. I have somebody who is an EA. I have people who are supporters. I even have people that are there to listen to me cry. I do cry. Yes, I have people. I mean, 2 days ago, I told you some things that was going on.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to air it out. Don't burden yourself and keep it down there. So, good support system. Don't just jump from January to December and say, man, God, where did the year go? Track it. Because when you have small, easy, achievable steps, you can track it. Because, okay, in January, this is what I achieved. Don't just go to work at the end of December and say, I don't know how much I made, I don't know where all this money. No, track it. Little by little, track it. Adjust your goals. There was a time I said I wanted to set up a clinic. I wanted to have a clinic. Guess what? It didn't happen the way I wanted. So I adjusted it. Small ones. I adjusted it. I kept adjusting it until they are small, achievable. And then you need to stay committed. Stay committed in who you've become. Remember, you're becoming somebody. And then the person you've become is the person that is doing all this. So track it and stay committed. So if you can do all this, then you can easily say it's a new you in a new year.
Wow.
I didn't say it's a new year in a new you. It's a new you in a new year. So when you enter and you celebrate, say, Happy New You and Happy New Me. Because it's about your transformation, and a new year is at the end of 2023 is not 2024, is continuation of it. And when you start from, it's continuation.
Yeah. Dr. Chi, discover you. In fact, you started with who is the new you. That was how you started. The places you talked about you. So what Dr. Chi is saying is that we have work to do on ourselves. The calendar will remain on the paper, but we have to discover ourselves, focus on the goal, break the big vision to small, achievable, goals that we can do, create a support system. So we should have people around us. Life is not good doing it alone. Dr. Chi, you can't trust people to deal. What Dr. Chi say, you can have small support groups, no matter what. There must be one person you can share with, you can cry with, you can be vulnerable with. And then she said, track these goals, track how the year is going. Don't leave it until it's December and you start asking yourself, I didn't even do anything this year. So keep asking yourself, after the first week of January, what did you do? Okay, let's leave January, because people say, if I know, I'm just waking up. Okay, so you can start tracking from after this episode with Dr. Chi and start tracking. So what am I going to achieve in January? It just one small thing. Don't make it so big. And she said something. She said, even if you couldn't do what you thought you could do, you can adjust it. So it's not cast on stone. It's not that is how it has been and that's how it will always be. When you do that, you'll be discouraged. Thank you so much, Dr. Chi. You have encouraged us to stay committed. We should not give up. We should be focused.
Don't give up.
But the main thing I got personally is discovering me. Who am I? My identity. And we talk about identity on At Home with Ifeno. Thank you, Dr. Chi, and we hope that when we call you again, yes, you'll come with this energy and illumination that you have given to us. Thank you, and Happy New Year to you too, and Happy New You, sorry.
And Happy New You.
Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us this week on At Home with Ifeno. Check us out on Instagram at Ifeno17. As always, subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh content. See you next in 2 weeks' time.